No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Before I get this review started, I want to single out a few people. And yes, I'm going to single them out by name, because they deserve it. Not because I particularly like them at this certain moment in time, but because they deserve it. They deserve to be singled out. Because these people are the reason for all the pain that I have had to go through rewatching this movie, shooting the review for it, and now releasing it to you guys. So first of all, let me single out Kaylee. Yeah, my friend Kaylee Wallace, I got so much love for you. But to be honest, I wouldn't mind if you got hit by a taxi cab tomorrow. Then we've got my friend Derek Walters. Great guy, loves my videos. But you know what? I kind of hope that somebody throws glass in your face in the next 24 hours. And then there's Joel. You can just eat a dick. That's all I have to say to you. These three horrible people, these sadistic bastards, actually decided to put me through this. They backed me into a corner and they forced me to review a movie that I swear to God I wanted to forget existed. I, of course, am talking about 50 Shades of really, really boring ass sex, 50 Shades of an ass sandwich, 50 Shades of the pubes around my nutsack. I seriously could turn 50 Shades into whatever degrading, deplorable nickname I want to for the entire video, but guess I do have to review this. So 50 Shades of Grey came out on Valentine's Day in 2015. It stars Dakota Johnson, I think is her name. And it stars some generic white handsome guy to be Dorian Gray. He's playing Dorian Gray, she's playing Anastasia Steele. In this movie you have basically the version of Bella, it's just updated and it's in a modern city setting. And she's probably twice as boring, to be honest. That's Anastasia Steele. Anastasia Steele in her pathetic life, she has nothing going on. She's really boring. She's boring. And then one day she gets an opportunity to interview one of the most powerful men in the world, Dorian Gray. So she interviews him, and then for no reason really whatsoever, he becomes infatuated with her. And then literally a few days after he becomes infatuated with her, it's, I want you, I need you, oh baby, oh baby. Thus we have a movie, a romance movie that's trying to be a hardcore BDSM movie, but it's really not. And so we really just have two idiots who shouldn't be together, who know they shouldn't be together, who are basically arm wrestling over it for the entire movie, and it's just, my God, this movie's boring. Let's keep it 100 about a couple of things. Number one, this is Twilight fan fiction. This is a known fact. Some writer basically created her own fantasies about the Twilight characters. She changed the name, she put it in a different city, and voila, we have a new book series. I've never actually read the 50 Shades book series, so I can't really comment on their quality, but if it's anything like this piece of shit, I'm good, playa. I'm good. Picture the ugliest STD that you have ever Googled or seen in your life when they used to force you to watch those sex ed videos in class. Okay, and then imagine having to watch something like that for a few hours. It's not the same example, but that's how I felt rewatching this thing. It actually took me like 4 hours to get through rewatching this thing because I had to pause it, and I had to stop it because I kept yelling at the screen and I kept falling asleep. Literally nothing works about this movie. Dakota Johnson, I guess, is trying to give a performance. Like, you feel like she could be a really good actress in a different movie. Her character is one of the most horrifically boring, pathetic, chastity belt characters that I have ever seen in a movie. Her whole life is basically, okay, I need this guy to save me, and I have nothing going on with my life, and I'm just depressing and boring. And then Dorian Gray comes into the picture, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I've been a virgin this whole time, but hey, billionaire, let me hop on that. Seriously, the girl's such a gold digger. I wonder why this wasn't pointed out in more reviews. Then we get to Dorian Gray, who, let's get this out of the way, the acting is shit. Neither one of the people in this movie are really doing a good job at convincing me that they can act their way out of a paper bag. Dorian Gray in particular is stiffer than, you know what, I actually shouldn't use the word stiffer because it's not the kind of movie you can use words like that with. Bottom line is, he is as dry as unlicked pussy, and I hate him in this movie, but basically the biggest problem with this movie is that it spends 90% of its runtime having you focus on these two shitty-ass people, and you don't care about them, and you don't care about the relationship because the relationship makes no sense. She's the boring chastity belt girl who has never done anything, who has never been with anybody of significance, who has never lost her virginity until, again, $1 billion and the panties drop. He's a billionaire and he's a really handsome guy. You feel like he could get anybody he wants, but he also has a secret dark side. He has a game room and he has places where he likes to do weird things to girls. By weird things, I mean BDSM. He's into bondage. He's into torture. He's into all of that crazy shit. The problem is, it's not that she's innocent and she might actually want to do shit like that. It's that she's innocent, but she's also boring and she's really not interested in it. So you just have to keep asking yourself, why are you really trying to fuck the billionaire? Again, you're a gold digger. I get that. But why are you really going back to this guy? This is a romance that sprouted like in a couple of days. Like they had the interview and then they got together and then, oh yeah, we're soulmates, we're lovebirds. Nah, you just don't really buy it. Everything about their chemistry is forced and awful. He is basically a psychopath in these movies. I shit you not, he's the kind of dominating control freak that I feel like every girl, if they ran into a guy like this, would have alarm bells going off in their head. She gets drunk one night and she's out with friends and she gets too drunk and he calls her up and he gets really pissed that she's drinking. And then he shows up at the club and he like escorts her forcefully from the club and I'm just like, wait, what? Nothing about this guy seems off to you? Are you that desperate for some billionaire dick that you're just gonna lay over and let him control every aspect of your life? Well, yeah, of course she is, because if she wasn't, this movie wouldn't exist. Then we get into the actual BDSM, the sex scenes of the movie, because if nothing else, okay, the acting is shit, the writing is shit, everything about the chemistry is shit, everything about the story is shit, okay, you get that. But you would figure the sex scenes at least would be interesting, you figure they'd be good. No, listen. Anybody who watches this movie as an excuse for softcore porn, do yourself a favor, go to hardcore. Just go to hardcore, get on the internet, and watch some hardcore porn. You'll feel better about yourself. Hell, you'll probably get better acting and production design in those movies anyway. Because all this movie is, I swear to God, is an excuse for middle-aged women, or really women anywhere from the ages of 25 to 60, to cream their pants in the theater and have the air smelling really moist and shameful. That's really all this movie is. That's all this movie exists for, is for that shameful, moist, sweaty feel, that damp, stank-ass smell that you smell in the air when you just know somebody is getting fucked tonight. The sex scenes are boring. They're not shot in a way that's really exciting. Again, hardcore is way better. Hell, I've seen softcore porn on Skinamax. Better than this shit. Pretty much just endless pop songs that are playing while they're fucking, and then there's just missionary, and then there's let's do missionary, and then let's do that position where the guy is on top of the girl. The sex scenes are not interesting, not only because she's not into them, but because they're just not shot with anyone who has any valid idea about what a real sex scene should look like. I remember watching this movie back in 2015 in the theater with my girlfriend, and I remember that she was sitting there and she was just kind of bored and she was about to fall asleep, and the sex scene started and she woke up a little bit and she was just kind of like, oh, okay, nothing's happening, and she went back to sleep. I'm just sitting there pissed off because not only do I have to watch a shitty movie, but my girlfriend didn't even give me a fucking hand job to help me get through the last act. Jesus. I'm just sitting there in the theater and my dick is screaming for help. My dick is just like, hey, does anybody give a shit about me? Hey, can we go? Can we get out of here? Can you wake the fuck up and do something? My dick's just screaming for help the entire movie, and does anybody help me or care about me and my dick while I'm in the theater with that moist ass smell? No, nobody cares. It all keeps going back to the chemistry between these two really unlikable, terrible characters. Again, you got the Bible Belt girl, and then you've got the control freak. It just doesn't fit. It is square peg, round hole. Or I guess that's a weird analogy. It's more like if you tried to shove a hammer up the ass of a bison. Although to be honest, the bison could probably take it a lot better than Anastasia could. There's no story, there is no plot to speak of here. It is pretty much just two people who are fucking, and that's the movie. Again, you could watch porn for that. There's no story here. There's no bigger point. There's nothing. There is shitty chemistry, shitty characters, shitty story. There's even a friend zone guy who's like, hey, can you let me be the Jacob of your movie? My God, how did I let this happen? How did I actually get trapped like this where I have to actually talk about this movie? I am not going to give this movie a rating. Not because I'm too frustrated to give it a rating, but because I honestly feel like this movie deserves nothing. It deserves no rating. It deserves no time. It doesn't deserve my breath. It doesn't deserve anyone's money. It deserves nothing. Also, let me make this clear to anybody out there who loves seeing me in pain and loves seeing me hurting like this. First of all, you know what you can kiss. Second of all, I am never, and I repeat, never going to talk about this movie again. I'm never doing it. I'm never talking about it. Don't ask me shit about it. Don't ask me shit about this review. I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying nothing. I'm done. I am out. I don't care. It's over. It's done. 50 Shades, whatever. No rating. Fuck it. End it. Just,